Hello everyone. We have a game with the black pieces against Juan. Oh no, a provisional. He's 1500. So let's see what we can do against this guy. We have no idea what his actual rating is, but we'll find out soon. He develops a piece towards the center, so can't be that bad. Let's try to stick with our Pirc setup, even though he played d4, and that's not a Pirc. So we're just going to try to keep it consistent just for the sake of the speedrun. It's a completely different opening, however. Okay, he develops his bishop, looks at the center. Let's just stay consistent with castle, and now we'll start. He plays the pawn move to stop bishop to pinning the knight. Fine. So we'll leave our bishop at home for the time being, and we'll develop our knight towards the center. Okay, white castles. Fair enough. And I'll attack his center with c5. Okay, he doesn't defend it with c3, and he doesn't take. He develops the knight. So I'm going to remove his central pawn with my flank pawn. And now his pawn is kind of in the air until he plays c3. I could remove this knight, potentially to the center. He's likely to retreat his bishop. But now my own bishop's open, so maybe after that queen b6, hitting this pawn and this pawn. That looks somewhat interesting, so let's just go for that so I don't waste more time. There are various moves, including b6, developing your bishop, which you could still do now. But queen b6 kind of blocks it. c3, am I taking this pawn? Probably. Okay, so instead of going b6 and fianchettoing, I'm going to go queen b6 with this weird attack, double threat. I'm going to leave my knight in limbo just because it's sandwiched between these pawns. So it's not easily assaultable by a rook. Okay, he improves his knight for free by attacking my queen, defending the pawn. That's fair. Huh. I can't tell which is the better. I'm going to go to the C file, stay developed. I don't see how he can take advantage of the location. Although his knight just tempoed my queen, his knight's in a weird spot that's going to give me a tempo at some point. So I'm going to get that tempo back, and when I do move the b pawn, I'll have the fianchetto and my queen will still be developed. So it's an interesting move by him, but I don't think it is particularly the best. So I think I am going to just kick it immediately, get the tempo back, right, for development. Okay, so now he's attacking my knight in the center. This pawn I'll be playing a6 before I fianchetto, but first my knight. First things first. Um, if I take, I do ruin his pawns a little bit. The dark squares around his king long term. Does open up his rook on the f file and give him another central pawn. So let's not do that. I don't want to block my bishop either. But if I don't take and just move it, then my pawn's hanging, right? So if I move it back and he takes a pawn and I rook over, and he takes the knight, I have to take back, he protects. Okay, so maybe I take the knight just so I can go a6, defend my pawn and fianchetto. Material's even. I'll have two fianchettoed bishops. I don't currently have a pawn presence in the center, but I have some ideas. Let's see. He develops the queen. Okay, he's looking this way. He's connecting his rooks. He's preparing to push in the center. Okay, most natural move is this. So let's make it quickly. Okay, he brings another rook in. He wants to push in the center. My queen is now a little misplaced if it's in this alignment. Can I play e5? E5 takes, 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 takes. I think I can. I think you need to. If you don't want to kind of get crushed as black, you don't have any other real pawns to put in the center. You could have tried d5 to hold up his pawn push in the center, but your queen is hanging. So he takes and you take. He doesn't have any pawn levers to try to, utilize this. And his queen and rook are blocked by its own pawn. Thank God. Otherwise, that would be bad. And if he trades, we don't take with the knight because then we're in a pin, and that's weird tactics. Okay, so he moves away and leaves the pawn. Opens up his rook. F5? Is that a move? Okay, so my queen's in the wrong alignment. Let me fix that. Where do I want it? If you go here, he's just gonna hit your queen. I don't want to put it off sides to hit a random pawn. Where's his knight going? Here? You know what? Let me develop a piece. Let me bring the rook in the game, line up against some pieces. Okay, so he's going for the bishop trade. I see. Okay. I think I'll improve this knight and my rook simultaneously and kind of force him to take, which would put my queen on the long diagonal and get it out of the alignment. So it's a 2-in-1 special if he takes. But his bishop's currently hanging, so not too many decisions. Also, I'm pressuring the knight, which keeps his queen tied down, so look out for queen moves. He retreats, but that gives me back the diagonal, which is a better diagonal than his. And now that the knight's here, I can realign for the checkmate threat because I'll take the bishop. Now it's not checkmate because the queen's here, but things are connected to different things, and if you pull the string one way, you can mess it up maybe. But I'm running out of time, which is not good. I do like my position though. I could even maybe go f5 here, which is weird but interesting. It opens up some light squares, but I don't think... Okay, so he goes knight there. I'm obviously not going to take. It undefends the center. So let's claim that territory he just gave up and leave his knight on the side. He takes instead of hitting the queen, which is weird. Maybe he'll do it now. Okay. Same thing, I guess. Okay, so he took our bishop. I mean, he just traded everything. So now it's a 3-on-2 and a 4-on-3, but a shattered 3. So it's a little different, a little better for black than the usual if they were connected. Or I should say maybe a lot better. Not a lot better for black, but a lot better than the other version where they're connected here. Because this really weakens this pawn and can make it a target, and a 4-on-2 is very different than a 4-on-3. But let's see what Juan does. He seems to be pretty highly rated, which is good. Not super high, but high enough to not hang a queen. He challenges my rook on the open file. Let's centralize our queen and pressure the weakness in the position. Maybe we can add a bishop at some point. Not that it's indefensible or something, but still, if we can attack something. He takes, we take, and now we can add this rook as an attacker. Okay, but now if I trade, I get this pawn with check. So that's a pawn. So now if I can trade the queens, I'd be super happy. How do I do this? He's going to try and check me to death. I guess I could throw an h5 so they don't matter. Yeah, let's definitely throw an h5. And with the fianchetto bishop, the queen's not going to be able to do anything alone, so he would have to coordinate the two. But with my queen in your face, it's going to prove difficult. The only things undefended in my position are these two light pawns, this on a6 and f7. But I mean, my queen can hop around and defend. Okay, so he attacks a pawn. Okay. I need to not run out of time. Check. Check. Bishop back. Okay, so let's free our own bishop. Get him to take this pawn. Then we'll give the check. And now that our bishop's free, we can in one move bring it to e3, threatening checkmate in one. And the queen can't get back to the diagonal without sacking itself. So because he spent his turns first threatening the pawn, then taking the pawn, meanwhile I improved my piece, and then improved my piece with a checkmate threat, right? Threaten pawn, take pawn, improve piece, improve with checkmate threat. There's a huge difference. So I baited him into taking it. So when something is hanging, you don't automatically defend it. I mean, you guys do, but you should not. Okay. So if you take here, he runs here, and I'm sure there's still checkmate. You can just calculate it. But what if you take here so he can't escape? Then he has to go back here, then here, then here, then here. So that's forced mate. That's, I guess, easier to calculate. You're going to take away the escape square with triangulation. And he lost 359 points. Oh my god. He's probably higher than what they just lowered him to, though. I would say. I mean, he for the first 25 moves, he played like perfect. Like perfect. Let me see. Yeah, he had 86%. He played really well. Only two blunders at the end. Otherwise, just inaccuracies. Whereas I gave up advantages here and there with my 5 inaccuracies, but no mistakes, no blunders, so 95%. I did give up a small advantage in the opening, which we'll go through with my inaccuracies, but otherwise, I'm happy with no mistakes for sure. That was a pretty, back and forth game where he fought very well. So anyway, center and development, development and center. And I'm still not sure what he's playing, right? Brings the bishop out, just standard moves, nothing specific, because he's not committing the c pawn. We go for this, I guess, King's Indian setup at this point to match our PIRCish setup. We develop king safety. So this is the starting position for our PIRCish. We just try to use it here because it's visually familiar, which is totally irrelevant, but somehow people like it. Development, center, and preparing a pawn break. Here, you want to get in e5 or c5. They're both good. I did look at e5 and preparing it and getting it in, but I figured, you know what, since he has everything aiming at it, it would be fun to go for a c5 pawn break. So he castles, we go for c5. It's a completely even game. We attack his central space advantage. We capture because he cannot capture with the c pawn. So now he has one central pawn to our two. Okay. This is hardly like the only, necessary move, but I'm improving a piece to the center, which also improves the bishop for free because it hits the bishop. So I'm improving two pieces for free. Gotta throw it in. Okay. And now here, I went queen b6, but in hindsight, that was a waste of time because of the move he played in the game, knight c4, and then I go queen c7, and then I play a6 b5 anyway. So in light of him being able to go knight c4, just go h6 and don't bring your queen out. That was dumb. So this is one of my inaccuracies, obviously dumb. Not a big deal because you just move back and you still get your plan, but it's kind of like, what was the point? Just don't even do it. But yeah, his knight's misplaced here, so and your queen gets developed ultimately, so it's not a bad thing for you. It's just weird. It's unnecessary. Okay, so now we improve our position for free by kicking the knight. Kind of a force move so we can hang on to our pawn. Force move. Now we're ready to develop. Development and center. It's a completely even game, perfectly playable by both sides. Brings his rook over, and boom, e5. And I want to turn on the engine here and see what are some options, because he is about to break in this, not break, he's just about to push his center. So what are the options? Rook a to e8. I mean, obviously e5 is the move after that, so they're just kind of over preparing it, which is also the same equal as e5. So both of those make sense. Rook to c8, which makes some sense with the minority attack idea, but I feel like you're kind of missing the boat. Like, rook c8's a good move, but I feel like we have more important things to address. Bishop d5, it hits a pawn. So if he pushes, or we just snatch it, that's cold. I guess. Yeah, you could do this. But I kind of like the move we played in the game, e5. Also, their move rook to e8 is kind of nice to have your rook behind it, but you don't really need it if you're not going to take. e5 looks good. Let's turn off the engine. He takes, so force move. And only here, at this point in the game, does it say black is starting to slowly get a little bit better. Just tiny advantage at this point. So I thought e5 was important because you kind of need the central pawn presence at this point. Otherwise, he was just going to steamroll you. Rook, development, center, with targets. It's always stronger when you have just pieces lined up as opposed to an empty file. Um, it just makes it a stronger move with more possibilities. And let's see what they do. They go for the bishop trade, and instead of just taking and improving his knight, I improve my own knight, trying to force him to take so I could improve my queen. But he doesn't take, and he retreats. And the engine says that I had another inaccuracy here. It wants me to go knight to a4, hitting this weakness. If the weakness moves, it collapses the pawn chain. And so he's going to take me with the bishop. Let me turn the line on. And then you're going to take, and what does it want this? Why did it do that? I don't get it. I don't want to spend too much time there, but that's not, even though that's what it wants, I still don't really get it. So I made just the alignment move, inaccuracy. And now he goes for a trade, and again, I'm avoiding the trades that he's trying to make me go for, and I'm trying to do trades on my terms. Um, so I go here, and I thought he was going to jump knight to the side. Yeah, knight here. And then your bishop and queen are hit. The queen has to stay in contact with the bishop. So when you go here, now he can take your knight or your bishop. But in both cases, everything's just going to be traded for everything, which is kind of what happened in the game. So if we go back, instead of him throwing it in first, he threw it in second. So I go here, and instead of doing it now, he takes first, then throws it in. And it kind of just leads to the mass trades again with an equal position. So that's why I said he played very well. 24 moves in. It's a completely equal position. Anyone's game. Now again, he's offering a trade, and for the umpteenth time, I'm not just going in for it because he offers it. I'm instead, again, choosing to improve one of my pieces. This time, targeting a weakness in the center. He takes, force move. Black is now minus 1.2, no longer an equal game. Why? Because although he has a majority here and we have a majority here, I told you these pawns aren't connected. That changes things and gives us a clear weakness that we're already pressuring. Then he makes a clear mistake because I get to deflect the queen with tempo. Goes to minus 3. So, and this is obvious, this is obvious. You get the rook, you hang the pawn. This guy's clearly good enough to see this because of the way he played the game. He just kind of rushed. He had 5 minutes. He definitely could have calculated this one move sequence. I don't know what he would have played, but my idea was to pressure this way as well as this way and see what he does. That was my idea. But he blunders immediately. We take the free pawn. And now we throw in h5. They want you to activate the bishop immediately, which we did, one move after. He gives us the check, so we're forced to move. And now he puts his queen here. We goad him into taking the pawn by activating. They're saying even more accurate, even faster, was this. But I wonder, don't you just do the same thing? Push the pawn. And how's that even faster than bishop h6? Even if he gives you a free turn, you push the pawn, free turn, you move the queen. That takes forever. How is any of that faster? Oops. Then this, bishop h6. Because he goes and attacks the king. And when you go to defend, he gets back in time or something. He defends the bishop this way, so you can't attack it. And it's only -4 and not forced mate. That makes sense. Forced mate is forced mate. But I didn't even do this move order. I did bishop first. They're saying he still should attack my king. And when I go to defend it... Oh, well, they want you to do this first so you don't lose stuff. Then it's similar to the other position again. -4, but no forced mate because he can defend the bishop. Wow, it's crazy that he just e5, e4, e3 too. Meanwhile, his queen's over here. So anyway, let's turn the engine off and go back to here. We just develop a piece, clear move with a threat that wins the game that you have to address. He does not address it, and it becomes mate in 6, which we find the combination, and we take this guy out. We brought him down 400 elo points. He played a good game. Still, even with 95% accuracy, he still had like a really good position here when I went queen b6 for no reason. Instead, a6, b5 and fianchetto. And what about just b6 without the a5? Just b6 by itself. So let's say b6, rook over, fianchetto, c4. Okay. Now if we go a6, c4 because b5 is coming. So he can kind of stop you if you go a6. So what do you... Oh, okay, you go b5 at this point. Alright, so anyway, good, really good game by him. Good game by us. We followed through, even with low time. Submit your rapid game in the Discord. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.